Welcome to the United Way Difference, a program that discusses Oshkosh community needs and how local nonprofit agencies are supporting people in our area. United Way's focus in the areas of income, education, health, and volunteerism helps to build a stronger, more caring, and compassionate community. The United Way Difference is brought to you by the Oshkosh Area United Way.
Hi, welcome to the United Way Difference. I'm Sue Ponick, and today my guest is Michael Cooney. Michael is the board chair for the Oshkosh Farmers Market, but he's also the a person who has started a program called Bonus 10, which works with the food stamp food share program in Oshkosh. Michael, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Tell me about that dual role that you play, the role between being a board chair and then the person who's, the technical name is SNAP.
Well, actually, there are two different roles. As board chair, I obviously work on policy and strategy for the market, and but operationally, the SNAP incentive program. SNAP is Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, which is the federal term for what we commonly know as food stamps. Mm-hmm. And what's happened over the years is the federal government, particularly, has encouraged SNAP recipients, locally called EBT. The acronyms make you crazy. To utilize their benefits at the farmers market. And part of the way they do that is provide, we have a little card reader, if you will, at the market that we can then, if they bring their Quest card, which is issued as part of food share in Wisconsin, they can use their benefits to buy tokens at the market. And these tokens then can be used to buy fruits, vegetables, fish, and seafood. And they're restricted in terms of use by the federal government. So basically, food you can take home, not food you can consume at the market. So to everyone's disappointment, no egg rolls.
No prepared egg rolls, and no Slurpees or
none of that. No.
Bubble tea and all that kind of stuff.
No, but you could buy cheesecake so long as we don't give you a fork.
Okay, because you have to take
that
it
was
home.
one of the rulings we got.
But you have to take it home. But so you've got the federal program called SNAP. You've got the food share program,
right.
Also what we know as food stamps. But it used to, in the old days, used to be actual like script, almost like a paper that they turned in. Now it's on what I would say like a debit or a credit card.
It is a credit card,
right?
And there are benefits around that, and we can read that, and then we issue them tokens. So we did that for several years. And then one of the trends nationally was to offer incentives for people to come and use their benefits at the market. Mm-hmm. It's good for the market, it's good for them, it's good for everybody. So 3 years ago, I was invited to start that program. We call it Bonus 10. So if you buy $10 worth of tokens at the market with your Quest card, we'll give you another 10 that you can use at the market. And that more than doubled our participation in the first year.
Okay, so just so people understand that it doesn't double the amount of money they get. So if they come in and take $20 off their Quest card, they don't get 20 tokens. They still get 10.
Still only get 10.
So it's a bonus 10. So it's like an additional 10 to whatever they.
Yes, but if you don't spend 10, you don't get any.
Right, and those don't expire, right?
No. So we actually have quite a float of tokens that seemingly this year are coming back in. We didn't know where they were going, but. They're being redeemed, so people do hold on to them and use them very selectively sometimes.
And do you have special vendors that then only can take these?
Basically, any vendor could take them so long as they're selling qualifying products.
Okay.
To make our life simple, basically egg roll people know you can't take them. A couple other categories, we just don't. But then we go back.
And there's nothing wrong with the egg rolls. It's just that's the restriction the government has put on it.
That's correct.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, no, we like egg rolls.
We like egg rolls, yeah.
No, then we buy back the tokens at the end of each market. So we cash out each vendor, and we track everything.
Okay.
So we know who, how many, who, what, where, and we keep that kind of data for people like the United Way. So when we ask you for money, we can tell you exactly what we did with it.
Well, and that's a good program because we are able to see where those dollars go, and we know that they're helping people who are struggling to make ends meet, which is one of the benefits of that program. But it's also what United Way is all about. So yeah, it works great for both of us. So. Tell me about how good is our farmers market here?
Well, I'm happy to tell you. I got to get the exact name of this, but what is it? They are the Daily Meal in New York City, a publication, frankly, we never heard of, but ranks the 101 top farmers markets in the country.
Why 101?
because that's what they do.
Okay.
And by what criteria, we have no idea, but they just notified us, again, I think for the third or fourth year in a row, that we are listed as one of the 101st best farmers markets in the country.
Wow.
Now, we're delighted, proud as heck, and we have no idea how they made that decision.
Okay. Well, maybe don't look too deep.
Right.
But okay. So, and is that for both days? Because we have farmers markets on 2 days, right?
We actually have three farmers
Oh, three
markets,
farm-
if you will. We
okay.
have the big Saturday farmers market in Main Street, where we take up the 400 and 500 block of Main Street. Then we have a much smaller market in the park on Wednesdays at South Park, which
Okay.
is a delightful. We still have a good number of produce vendors there, as well as some other folks. We have the food vendors, we have music, and it's kind of like a picnic with farmers market. So we really like that one as well. And then we do the winter's market.
Okay. So we've got a couple of things up on the screen right now, which if you're listening by radio, you're not going to see this, but this is basically what Michael was talking about, the downtown market, the winter market, and then the market in the park. And all three of these, they can use their bonus 10.
They can. We
Okay.
redeem the tokens at any one of these.
Okay. So tell us, how successful has the market been?
Well, our market, we're very proud of our market. We grew it from the City Hall parking lot to
I remember that.
taking the two blocks of Main Street. And while no one can give us a head count, the Oshkosh Police Department estimates on a really busy summer that we have 8,000, 10,000, maybe 12,000 people at the market.
Okay, and we're looking at some pictures right
Yeah.
now where the street is flooded with people,
Yes,
and brightly colored people.
yes.
Orange and
Well,
yellows.
I think
and-
we think of it as the community event, and in some ways we're the town square, like in the Middle Ages. This is where everybody comes together, sees your friends, buy your produce, and eats pie on the porch. I like pie I have pie on the porch followed by egg rolls is a perfect Saturday morning
That's
for
right.
me.
That's right. You know what's missing though from the farmers market, and particularly in these pictures, are the people who do. I'm not going to think of what it's called, where they don't move. They pretend like they're statues.
Oh, we don't have any mimes, no.
No mimes.
No mimes. We have a number of
No,
musicians.
not even mimes. I mean, they don't move. They just like a statue. You see them down in New Orleans sometimes,
Well,
and they just stand there, and then all of a sudden they'll move, and that scares the heck out of you.
I know that. No, we don't have those here.
Well, maybe we could.
But let me just share with you some numbers, because we love counting things at the farmers
I know
market.
you do.
We have over 70 agriculture vendors this year, 5 new ones. We've got over 40 people doing canned foods, baked goods, and things like that. 52 craft vendors over the course of the years.
10 new ones.
Yeah,
Good.
and our community outreach, we're very proud of that. We have at least 58 of those, which have everything from church groups to nonprofits to United Way, that we provide free space to. Now, it's space available kind of thing, but we're happy to do that to give a chance to be part of the community conversation.
Right. Yeah, that's good. And we appreciate that so much, because it just really helps us out to get the word out about
Yeah.
United Way and what's going on. And then I noticed the other nonprofits. I know when we were looking at the, I know League of Women Voters sometimes will be there. Civility Project will be there from time
Yes.
to time as well. So we talked a little bit about when people come to the market that they can use their food share and their EBT card. So you've given us already a little bit of the history on
Yeah.
the benefits, and so I'm going to skip that now. But are you seeing more trends?
There's a couple of things. First of all, remember, people on food share are not there forever. They have a limited period of eligibility. So it's a moving market that we constantly have to reach out to make them aware that they can use their benefits at the market. And we do that by all the partner agencies in Oshkosh. And I don't know how they do things in big cities, but here in 20 minutes, I can run around, sit down with the executive directors of the food pantry, Avocab, whoever I need to talk to, give them posters, work out a plan, and make things happen. So we partner with a lot of people to bring awareness, to bring people to the market, and to help them realize how they can use it.
So when we're using the benefits, you mentioned that you have a tent
Yeah.
or a pop-up that is at the corner on the market.
Right,
And people actually come and swipe their EBT
Right.
card. They get their tokens,
right.
and then they just shop.
They just
and
shop.
then they can come back and do that as often as they want, but they only get their bonus 10 the first time, correct?
No, we'll do one match per person per market.
Per market, right.
So you could do a match on Saturday, you could do a match on Wednesday, no
Right.
problem.
Okay. So I know that we support the bonus 10 program because we just think it makes good sense. But who else are some of the supporters?
One of our major supporters the last couple of years has been Ascension.
Okay. And that makes good sense too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Healthy eating.
And they've been very generous with us. The Oshkosh Rotary Clubs gave us our initial funding and continue to be a major funder of us. One of the Community Foundation has contributed, J.J. Keller's Foundation has contributed. We've had a number of contributions. But one thing that I'm really delighted with is some of our vendors contribute. Now they contribute modest amounts, but they do it out of their heart because it's the right thing to do.
Well, because they don't have to contribute to be
No,
a
they
vendor
don't.
to get
They-
the
no, they
tokens.
don't.
So yeah, I know, and I shop at those vendors, and I
Yeah.
thank them every time I shop at them for supporting the Bonus 10 program.
Actually, some of our Bonus 10 people do also.
Oh, great!
Surprisingly, it's turned out to be good for business for them, more so than what I would have thought that had been the case.
Okay, I like the logo for the Bonus 10, which is up on the screen right now, and it says a Bonus 10 food bucks, and it says making fresh available.
Right.
No, I'm sorry, affordable.
Affordable. And that's one of the things that's important. People look at the farmers market sometimes and say, well, the produce is expensive. Some of it is. Some of it is very, very reasonable, and it's a matter of good shopping. And interestingly, I like going down the market and see like the price of asparagus. I found market forces have nothing to do with the price of asparagus. It could be $4 here, it could be $3 here, it could be $3.50 here,
Yeah.
it could be
Doesn't
$2
matter.
over here.
Yeah.
It's whatever it is.
And what I like about it too is that it's simple. They go to the market, they swipe their card, they get their tokens, and they shop.
Simple was very important to us.
Yes.
Every time we got complicated, we got confused. If we got confused, nobody else could do it.
That's right. So, how do you know it's work? Oh, I wanted to ask you about WIC. Can you use WIC benefits?
Yes, that's separate, but WIC, some of our vendors do take WIC.
Okay.
And we did an outreach with WIC this year to give additional incentives to WIC people to come to the market. So when we talk about our Discover program, we can talk about that.
Oh, okay. And I know that you said that you were tracking the number of swipes and stuff like that.
Right.
And can you tell me how many swipes you've had in June and July already?
I can. We had 269 swipes of people using their cards.
Okay.
Over the course of the year, we'll be up about 700.
Okay.
So some of these are repeats. Some of the typical person swipes 3 to 4 times at market.
Okay.
They're a season.
Okay. Well, but before we go to break, we got maybe like 2 minutes here. You did a survey, because United wants to know, are you making a difference, right?
Yeah.
So you did a survey. What did you find in your survey?
Well, last year I had a student intern, a delightful young woman, who now we didn't pretend to be science. Whoever we grabbed who could give us information, we went with. But we surveyed over 70 people who took their benefits, did the bonus 10, and what we found is that the people who come to the market, it fits the national studies totally, have predisposition to fruits, vegetables, and know how to cook.
Oh, okay.
And that's both good and bad. It's good in that we're reaching that group that who grew up with vegetables, and amazingly, I've had conversations with men who, I'm really into bok choy. Really? Oh yeah, or something. People have real passions for certain vegetables.
Well, yeah,
But-
I have to tell you, I like bok choy because I asked how you make it, and the farmer told me how to
That's
make
right.
it, and I love it now.
But it also tells us that to reach out beyond that group is a real challenge. So one of the questions we had in our survey, I put it deliberately about how often you have pizza.
Okay.
Now, when I talked to the manager of Festival Foods, he just laughed and figured from his experience, people had pizza in Oshkosh every day of the week. But we found that people at the market rarely had pizza, which was kind of a surprise to us.
That would be a surprise.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be the go-to sometimes when
That's right.
if you're busy and you can't get
Right.
food on the table. What else did you find? Anything?
People were very grateful that we had the opportunity, that we facilitated it with the bonus 10, and I think that they got treated well at the market.
Okay. And the nice thing about bonus 10, I think too, is that, as I said, those tokens don't expire. So
No.
if you didn't find what you want, if you didn't find the raspberries this week,
Yeah.
you can come back next week and get those raspberries.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Before we end our total program, I want you to tell me about the young man that shopped at the bonus 10. But we're going to take a break right now. And when we come back, we're going to learn more about the bonus 10 program from Michael and hear some stories about kids and some of the outreach that they're doing in the community. So stay tuned.
It's not a charity, it's more than a charity. It's about helping people we live with. It's about being the type of person that the 6-year-old version of ourselves wanted us to be. It's about community and looking out for one another. It's about money, yes, but it's so much more than money. It's about friendship and common values. It's about opening doors when others are slammed shut. It's about giving kids a place to be kids and growing up knowing they live in a community that cares about them. It's about making sure that everyone gets to see the dentist, because we want to make sure that they have every last tooth in those smiles. Ultimately, that's it. It's about the smiles, old smiles and new smiles. It's about us, all of us, our community living united, because great things happen when we live united. Will you join us?
Hi, and welcome back. My guest is Michael Cooney, who's the chair of the board of directors of the Oshkosh Farmers Market, and also does a dual role where he is part of a program called Bonus 10. He's the project coordinator, manager, initiator of this entire project. And basically, for people that maybe are just joining us now, can you just give us a quick overview of Bonus 10?
Basically, it's an incentive program for people who have what are commonly known as food stamp benefits to come to the market, swipe their card, buy at least $10 worth of tokens on their card, and then we'll match it with another 10. So
Okay.
for a $10 purchase, you get $20 worth of tokens to go shopping at the market.
What a deal! What a deal! Well, you've I know that as much as I think this is a great deal, sometimes you struggle to get people who take advantage of it.
Well, I found,
So you've been trying to do a promotion.
yeah, what we've learned is that there was sort of a limited number of people we could reach out to. So we looked at how else can we get to these people. And then I discovered the children's corner at the food pantry. So, and talked to the director there and said, well, we could give certificates to the kids. And they would bring their parents to the market, and that worked. So we experimented with that last year. We got about a 30% redemption rate,
Okay.
which wasn't bad.
No?
So then we rolled it out this year, and I sat down with the head of food pantry, the hub program in Abacab, Boys and Girls Club, Head Start, WIC. I think I got them all.
Christine Ann?
Pardon me?
Did you do Christine Ann?
No, I did not.
Okay.
And I said, okay, I got money. How can we be creative and get your people to come to the market? So we call it the Discover program, aimed at kids.
So like discover the market.
Discover the market. So there's no matching requirement here other than you simply have to come with the certificate, and we'll give you the 10, and we give you an orientation. We talk to you about, hey, this is what you could buy at the market. Well, we've had all kinds of wonderful stories. The story I've told you before is last year we had this young man, and we tried to track him. I kind of wandered around and tried to see what they're doing. But this young man got his $10 worth of tokens, and he went and bought strawberries because it was in June, because his mother loves strawberries. He bought strawberries for her.
Oh, I love it.
And then he carefully considered his next purchase, and he got popcorn for family night. Well, he then had
Okay, now what kind of popcorn did it get? The kernels,
the
right?
kernels. Yeah, it's time you have the real popcorn.
The real popcorn.
We're talking
Okay.
farmers market here soon.
Well, I know, but I wanted people to know you just can't buy popcorn at the farmer's market because you can consume that right there. You have to
That's
take
correct.
this home.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then he personally loved mushrooms, so he only had a couple of tokens left. So he was carefully comparing mushrooms, and the vendor was watching him do this, and she said, "Well, what is it you want? I want mushrooms, but I don't know if I have enough." Well, you know what? He had enough for a big bag of mushrooms.
Oh,
she
right.
took care of him on that. And what we found this year,
Because he liked mushrooms.
yes, but what we find, the vendors have been very kind to particular Discover kids. That they knock off prices, they round off things. Sometimes the bag gets a little extra full than what anybody else would get. So they're getting some really good deals, and they are feeling really good about it.
But you know what I love about that story?
But
Is he thought of his mom first.
that's right.
His family second. And then he finally thought about himself.
That's right. I mean,
And-
he's a perfect story.
Yeah.
This year, our big success, and we're just delighted with it. I leave here today to have a meeting with all my agency directors, see how we can replicate this. Is the Boys and Girls Club said, hey, we'll put the kids on a bus and we'll bring them to the Wednesday market. So every kid has a $10 certificate that they can use at the Wednesday market. They come in age group. They come with lots of staff. And they get their tokens. They get called by name when they get their token. They get an orientation from our market directors, and then they go shopping, and they had just a wonderful time.
And you said that's growing.
Oh, it's grown. One of the vendors came up to me and said, "Thank you so much for doing this. Is the right thing." And I said, "Oh yeah, but it's good business for you." He said, "No." He said, "This is the right thing to do." And watching last week, the interactions are just delightful. And we had this little girl in a princess outfit carried home a great big bag of sweet corn. It was almost as big as she was, and it was just a delightful scene to watch. So it's really everybody feels so good about this. We had a parent come to our Market Central tent last Saturday, almost in tears, says, "Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that meant to my child to go to the market and be able to shop," because many of them never have done food shopping before.
And this way they could pick things they wanted.
That's right. Blueberries are really popular. Honey sticks are very popular.
How about peas?
What?
Peas?
No, I checked shopping bags. I haven't seen too many peas.
I like
Sweet
peas.
corn. Occasionally a cookie finds its way in there.
Oh, okay.
I led them on the sample. There was one of the vendors had samples, so I made sure everybody came over and had a sample.
Oh, okay. I hope you let the vendor know ahead of time they were coming.
I did.
So are people redeeming the certificates as well as you'd like? I know that you said that you've got 231 people redeemed certificates in June and July.
That's the swipes. We have almost an equal number.
Okay.
Somewhere in our papers.
Yeah.
They are. They're not quite as much as we thought, because part of the challenge of the farmers market makes sure everybody feels welcome there. And often people who are struggling in life feel a little awkward coming to the market, which is why we try to make sure that they feel so welcome when they get there. We treat them with such respect and kindness, and give them directions and assistance, and if necessary, if I'm there, I'll walk them to where you need to go, because that's part of the challenge of the farmers market. It's not to be sort of a perception of an upper income kind of experience. It's open to everybody.
Right. I know that the times that I've been to the farmers market, you've got the main street, and then you've got the, I think that's Church Street that goes in Merritt, or whatever that street is. And, it can be a little overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that a couple of churches have done breakfasts on Saturdays. And I know we were talking about maybe having some people go to the churches and encourage people to come down to the market. And I think that's why I think the Presbyterian Church, for one, does a breakfast and encourages people then to go to the market.
Yes.
So they get a hot breakfast,
Yeah.
pancakes or whatever, and then they're able to go down and shop at the market.
Which is why we're encouraging people to come to the Wednesday market. It's much more accessible.
Okay, so if it's like too overwhelming, come to the smaller market.
Yeah.
Get a feel for it, and then maybe
that's
come
correct.
back to the
Yes.
larger market. Okay. So reflecting on Bonus 10 and your Discovering the Market program over the past, 2.5 years, what have you learned? What?
Well, I learned my grand plan that having the kids come and bring their parents who they're going to use their benefits was a grand plan that didn't really work.
Okay.
But I did learn that the outreach and bringing the kids to the market was incredibly important, and that the research shows basically a positive first experiences can produce a lifelong buying pattern.
Okay.
So we're making the market available, we're making good fruits and vegetables and making good healthy choices available to kids and supporting that experience. And that may be all we can hope for,
And have you ever thought about talking with the kids and said, what would it take to have your parents come with you?
Well, the parents do come, and we track.
Oh, okay.
We track everything. We track whether they have a card and whether they used the card. What we found basically is about 7% of the kids' parents from the food pantry used their card for benefit for Bonus 10, and from the other agencies about 3%. But that may reflect all kinds of other factors, that they already did their shopping, any number of things. I mean, I can't read a whole lot into that.
Okay.
So, but we feel really good about the Discover program, just bringing potential customers. So we're building customers for 20 years down the road.
Yeah, right. And that's what we need to continue to do that.
That's right.
So what's next on the horizon for the farmers market?
Oh, we got something really exciting. We just made the decision last night. We're working with the Oshkosh Convention Center to
this is what you were talking
move
about.
the
Okay.
farmers market in December only. We're going to be at Merrill School the rest of the time to the convention center for 3 markets, and really
For like
make
the whole month of December?
Well, actually, we run into Christmas and New Year, so we don't do
Okay.
markets then. So we've got three dates, and really making it a big deal. Bring in some additional vendors, bring in crafters, have a fresh farm breakfast put on by the convention center people.
Wow.
Just really help help introduce the whole concept of a winter market to the community and continue our tradition of making this the community event.
Okay. And that's your holiday edition of the Discover the Market?
Yes.
I know you have Discover the Market bags too, don't you?
We did last year. We had Meet Me at the Market bags last
Meet Me
year,
at the Market
which
bags,
Rotary
okay.
paid for, along with 4Imprint and Silver Star. And we gave out 900 bags, which I discovered, when you got 10,000 people in the street, you can give out 900 bags very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. Now, I know that this isn't necessarily something that the farmers market has, well, maybe it is. I don't know. I shouldn't assume. I know that the Rotary clubs do collection of food at the end of the market.
That's correct.
And
Shared harvest.
Shared harvest. Can you talk a little bit about
That's
that?
a little different. What we do at
But
the
it's
end
part of the market.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Is at the end of the market, the Rotary clubs, with our market wagons, go and collect produce donations from many of the vendors. The Hmong community has been incredibly kind to us. So we have all this fresh produce that then goes to the food pantry that they make available free to their clientele there. So yeah.
Right, and I know that when you shop at the food pantries, particularly the Oshkosh Community Pantry, you get points based on the size of your family. And when you say it's free, well, it really is.
There's no points.
There's no points,
No points.
because it's really all free when you think about it.
That's correct.
But there's no points, so which is
Take as much as you
hopefully
can
encouraging
use.
people to take it.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever thought about doing cooking demonstrations? I mean, like I had to ask how to use the bok choy because
Yes, I
I had
understand
no
that.
clue.
Cooking demonstrations are a great plan that don't work because you give away a lot of free food and nobody pays attention how to cook
I was
it.
thinking with the kids though.
Well,
I mean,
the Oshkosh Rotary Club funded a kitchen at the food pantry that we're still trying to figure out the magic of how to do that. As I told you, our research showed people who are the fruits and vegetables know how to cook, and the expanded population into fast food is a little more challenging.
Okay. So if I were to ask you, what would be your dream for the Oshkosh Farmers Market? You got like 2 minutes, so you can dream big here. What would be your dream for the Oshkosh Farmers Market? And besides getting more people engaged. And then maybe the next part of that question is, okay, who's next on your hit list of getting people there?
Well, we're kind of getting there. I'm interested in diversity at the market.
Okay.
I want all segments of the Oshkosh population to come and feel welcome there. I'm delighted when I see refugees in their native dress come to the market. It's like, yes. But that's the important thing. And I've talked to people of color who say, yeah, they go to the market, but they feel a little bit unease. As a white person, I don't understand that, but I believe them.
Right.
And so I think if the diversity and keeping that sense of we are the community event, we are the town square, and making that just available to everyone.
Okay. So how do you get that outreach? I mean,
I think part of it is we're targeting with our Discover program refugee groups. We're targeting all kinds of. We can target very specific groups and incentivize them to come to the market at least for a trial. And all we can offer is awareness and trial, and hopefully they have a wonderful experience.
I know you and I once upon a time talked about doing something on one of the side streets, which would be like an ethnic food festival kind of thing.
Yeah, well, we run into all kinds of health laws. And,
I know, but
I want
that's
the great community potluck is what I really like to run.
Because wouldn't that be cool? I
It
mean,
would
it
be
really
cool.
would get us to a point where people were,
But actually, we're coming closer to that with the convention center winter thing because we'll have a community farm breakfast there where the hotel will prepare the food, but it'll be from our farm vendors.
Oh, okay. So who do you have doing the recipes?
We haven't got that far yet.
Oh, okay. Well, Michael, I want to thank you for being here. This was fun. We went through this really, really fast, and it feels like a half hour just flew by. I want to thank the folks here at Channel 2 and 10 for always putting us putting this all together for us and making us look in our best light. And hopefully you'll stay tuned for other programs. But also, I want you to go to the farmers market. And thank you for watching our program.